Hey guys, welcome back to yet another episode here at O.A.R Reptile House. All we're going to do today is we got a lot of cleaning to do. We got to get through all of these enclosures and get all the substrate mixed out or switched out. So it's not a lot of work, but it is quite a bit of work. But you guys don't want to watch that. You come here for the reptiles. So we're going to get those guys out and we're just going to clean with... I'm going to clean between cuts. Sound like a plan? Because it does to me. So first things first, we're going to start with ear. Ear, for those of you who've been watching for a while, may remember is the corn snake I was definitely scared of. Despite how small she is. She's obviously gotten a little bit bigger since then. But you saw no fear anymore. We've handled her plenty. She's become a real mellow girl. And since she is a subterranean species or a digger, I might be using the wrong term here. I'm not going to lie to you. But she'll dig and burrow and everything like that. What we're going to do is we're going to put her on aspen. Aspen is the best thing to use for burrowing species, in my opinion, that don't need high humidity. If they do need high humidity, I would recommend coconut coir. But we're going to put her away for now, and I'm going to get to cleaning what needs to get cleaned. Either way, she is a beautiful little girl. I mean, look at her. If she wants to show, love her red eyes. Now, because she is part albino, because of her genetics, she is light sensitive. So she usually hides most of the day and then comes out at night. But she's still beautiful. We love to see her. We're going to put her in a temporary tank just to you're scaring yourself here. You're scaring yourself here. You know that? We're going to put her in a temporary Tupperware container just so I can get her out the way while I clean. All right. See y'all in a second. Okay, as you can see, we are now back. Oh, that's a little too close. Let's see if we can get it just about. That works beautifully. Okay, so as you can see, we are back. What I've decided to do is I've decided to give her a bunch of places to climb. She is still a relatively small snake, so I don't need a lot of support in order for her to have these climbing perches, even though some of them, like the bigger sticks, do. And she can even drape across this. Hopefully, I hope it doesn't fall on her. But if it does, I'll find a way to maneuver it later. This is going to be how her setup is for about the next 3 months to a month. You know, sometimes I come through and when I clean them out, I change everything about it. I don't know yet. I really like this setup. I always like when we do a new setup. It always becomes my new favorite setup. Just because I like new things. Anyways, let's get her back out. She's looking as beautiful as ever. We're just going to let her explore for a little bit. Just like that, she can do whatever she wants. It's nice, it's beautiful, she can explore. And what I forgot to do that I need to do real quick is I need to clean her doors. Which is real easy and simple since the doors aren't really a part of the substrate area. I don't have to worry about disinfecting them as much. Just some Windex will go through and I'll be just fine. And as you can see, I'm pretty sure you can see right there, she is already burrowing down and she just disappears like that. It is crazy to think just how fast these animals can disappear. Almost like tiny little earthworms, despite the fact you wouldn't quite think of them as that. I mean, we all played with earthworms as a child, or at least I did, and never really played with snakes, but it's funny to think how similar they really are. I mean, granted, earthworms eat dead things and snakes eat live things, but either way. Now, real quick, all I want to do is show you guys how I usually do this in the fastest, most efficient way I usually can. First thing, I'm going to need one of these big old trash cans. You know, they used to be sold all the time at Walmart, but since most cities switched over to blue bins or green bins, These aren't as popular anymore. You might have a harder time finding these, but love one of these, especially when you have a collection like mine. But all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just use the dustpan as a wee bit of a shovel. It might not be the cleanest way to do this. As you can see, it got most of everything out in just 2 scoops. In fact, I probably just need 2 more and I'll be done. I like to use the dustpans. It's got the little rubber bit at the end. Makes it a little bit easier to get those corners out. Rather than everything left, you might come through with a vacuum or just some paper towels and you'll get it all out. Anyways, that's enough of this cleaning. Alrighty, so here we are, and with Hell, I'm about to get her out. I know exactly where she is. She doesn't move much in her now that she's gotten older. She's almost an adult now. She's still got about, this year should be her last year as a sub-adult. Look at her, beautiful. Let's get her out. Hi, pretty girl. Yeah, she's still got a little bit of white speculation on her chin. Hell is our Mexican black king snake. And just like the corn snake, king snakes tend to burrow. They like high heat, good humidity. So we're once again just going to clear this all out and put more aspen in there. Now Hell here, she's one of our older reptiles. She's one of the ones that originally came with us from California when we moved back down to Tennessee. Or at least I moved back down to Tennessee. She is a beautiful girl. I love her to death. My mom calls her a leech, and I can see why. But I think she's prettier than a leech. And nowhere near as slimy. I love these animals. Even if she bites me just about as much as Lilith does, I love this girl. And that's usually because I smell like rats whenever I handle her, and I can't blame her. I wouldn't be surprised if she bites me right now because I just did food inventory. So I might smell a little bit like rats, so I might get a little bite. Oh well, it is what it is. Anyways, we're going to put her up, and we're going to clean her enclosure too. Wow guys, it's just a little funny. This right here used to be Naga's transport tote from California. And if you don't know who Naga is Orion before we found out that Orion was a boy. And can you imagine a small reticulated python surviving in this for about 24 hours? He got so much bigger nowadays. Anyways, I just thought that was funny, so I wanted to share it. Let's get back to this. Well, now we got Hell set up. So why don't we go ahead and put her back. She has become quite the long girl. Despite being so young. I really kind of like the fake hibiscus in here. I believe that's what these would be. We got a nice little setup for her now. You can kind of see. Flip this around. Oh, wait. Of course, it's not going to flip for you guys. You can kind of see her head poking out right there. Beautiful as ever. She's just chilling around. But let's get on to the next one, shall we?
Next enclosure we get to clean is my favorite educational animal, Pestilence. She is the animal I use whenever anyone's telling me they're going to get a leopard gecko. She's what I showed in order to tell them what some of the medical issues can be, as she does. She's gotten over it, but she still has the long-term effects of having MBD, which is metabolic bone disease. If you're new to the channel or new to the reptile community and you don't know what MBD is, it's metabolic bone disease or disorder. I don't remember which one in fact it is. But essentially what happens is the reptile is not getting enough calcium in their life. So they start absorbing it from their skeleton. You know, they need the calcium to harden their skeleton, harden their scales to an extent. And without that calcium in their diet or their life, they don't have any other choice but to take it from their bones. You'll notice it in her hand or her legs, especially this leg. You can see how she doesn't quite walk upright. You can see it in her jaw, especially right there. She's got a little bit of an overbite on her. I think that's the term, underbite. Either way, her jaw's deformed. And she's still beautiful. She's still active. She still hunts well. But the problem with this is she's not as active as she could be. So despite not eating as much because she's not as active, she still gets a little bit of weight to her. But this comes in feeding mealworms, inconsistent feeding schedule, superworms. Now superworms you can give a calcium supplement to. Crickets you can gut load with calcium. I don't typically do it with crickets because crickets are high in calcium. Though about once a month I do give them a little bit of calcium in their enclosure so they can decide to lick it up if they want it. And that's a good way to practice it, at least in my opinion. I might be wrong here. If I am, I'll change my ways in the past. But my geckos seem to be doing okay with how I do it. Now, however, she was a rescue from the local pet store. She had been forgotten about. They literally thought they'd sold all their geckos, but she was in there. So she hadn't been fed in about 2 weeks as they were waiting for a new order of geckos, and she just stayed hidden. Then about 2 months later, because in reptiles, everything takes a long time to show itself, and we were feeding her crickets and mealworms at the time. This is why we no longer really feed mealworms, unless we're waiting on a shipment of crickets, and mealworms are all the pet store has. In that case, they get maybe 1 to 2 days a month where they get mealworms, if that. Or a female of mine had just laid eggs. I usually give them mealworms just to get a little bit more weight back on them so they're less stressed and more likely to make it through. But definitely do not feed your leopard geckos mealworms only. Feed them a variety if you can. Even these guys get just a little bit of variety. Even though they mainly eat crickets, I do at least once a month give them mealworms as a little treat. But yeah, so that's enough about her. That's enough of MBD and what to prevent. So I'm going to put her away and we're going to go clean her enclosure real quick.
It's like that. It's a good thing I have so many extra tanks. With one little hit to try and get all this off, I didn't even hit it that hard. As you can see, I fractured the entire bottom. The bracelet I had, when I hit it, had shifted down just enough and accidentally clicked it. Well, that did a giant fracture, as you can see. Didn't even hit it that hard, but it's no longer safe for any animal. So this is about to go in my shed until spring cleaning. Yeah. Crap. A normal person would have freaked out because they broke that tank. But as you can see, I already have her new one set up. And this is the perk of using things like Facebook Marketplace. A lot of people either had a reptile die, they gave that animal away, or, something happened. Or maybe they just got out of the hobby, So you'll find a ton of reptile equipment on Facebook Marketplace. Oh, I use it all the time. In fact, most of my enclosures nowadays come from either me building them or Facebook Marketplace. It's not because I'm cheap or anything like that. Yes, that has a little bit to do with it. But as you can tell, I also am not afraid to go all out for my animals. But it's because, think of it for the environment, right? You got all these people who are trying to give it away. And if they can't give it away, what's probably going to happen is that it's going to go in the trash. So instead of producing more waste, opening up that new tank with all the cardboard that's got to go, all the plastic zippies that's got to go, just go buy you a new tank. Now, if your tank becomes too damaged to use, yeah, it's understandable to throw it away. And I got no choice now. I'm going to have to throw away that one. I can't quite repair that because of how fractured it is.
If it was a little chip in the corner, I have spare glass that I'd cover it and flex seal it down and everything like that, just for my land species, you know. But always remember, reduce, reuse, recycle. I mean, I'm no eco-activist by any means, but I do try to take my part where I can take my part, and I care about these animals, and I want to see, if I ever have them, my grandkids see animals like these in the wild. But yeah, just don't be afraid to use Facebook Marketplace. I know a lot of people, it can be a little sketchy, but I use it all the time. I found PVC enclosures on there. I found custom wooden enclosures on there. I found breeding racks on there. The problem is at that time I wasn't quite needing any of it. I'd just go on there about once a week to look regardless. But it is about time for me to start looking into breeding racks. You know, we got, it's not going to happen this year. I've looked into it. Midas is still just a little too young. So we're going to wait till next breeding season to breed him. So this year we're going to focus on geckos. And then hopefully next year we'll have an enclosure kind of like this one for the ball pythons and Hell and her boyfriend. And if I ever do get her boyfriend, he'll be Needhog. So Needhog, Hell, Midas, Pandora, maybe Persephone. I don't know. It's going to come down to what other female I get and what their morph is and everything like that. But right now, the only other animal I kind of really want to get to fill out the spare enclosure I have, or enclosures, is a female crested gecko, so we can start breeding Leaf Erikson. So I think this year we're going to focus solely on geckos, and next year we'll start doing snakes and ball pythons and everything like that. All right, so it's time to put her back and let her explore her new home. Perfect. I was wondering if that would be big enough for her to use as a hide, and it looks like it'll be just big enough. Anyways, let's put the lid on it. Get it turned on so that this way she can warm up. There we go. Still holds plenty of light. She's got a lot more room to roam it around now. I'm not sure she's going to know what to do with all that space. Anyways, now we're going to go on to the babies. Now, some of you recognize these guys from last year. I mean, they have gotten real big, though. They are almost full grown. And in spring, and they're still available on there right now, but when spring comes around and the nighttime temperature warms up, they might not be here anymore. These guys are still on Morph Market. In fact, I do need to update my Morph Market posting for these guys. They no longer fit the weight category that they were in. Oops. But that's something I'll do this weekend. Either way, where are you at? There you go. Look at them. They've gotten... Oh, come here. Come here. Oh, I know. You're a little scared. Ah. I got the little turd in here, and by goodness are these guys just like their dad. They hate being handled. I tried to grab this little guy, and he ran straight away. They're not big fans of being handled. At least this one isn't. But as you can see, they're getting a little better looking. Their tail's starting to bulk up a little bit more now that they're getting that age where now it's no longer length they're getting, but they're getting weight, which is perfect. Mwah, chef's kiss. Oh, we already got that one set up. I love taking care of the little baby enclosures. They do not take long at all. We're just going to put this little guy back. There you go, buddy. Whoa! Seriously? I just barely managed to get that on camera. Alright. Alright, I'm going to have to set you guys down so I can put them back. By the time we come back, I'll be opening up the next enclosure. Well, it didn't take us long to get that little guy back, but wow, what a stinker, am I right? Can't believe as I was trying to close it, he decided to run away. Are you going to be better than your sibling? Yeah, you're a lot better. Now this guy, same boat, he needs a little bit more weight on him. He's being a little reluctant. So as we were saying before, well, he is a male, and I usually don't provide males
mealworms. He might need some mealworms just to help get some of that weight on him. You know, just so he can be at a good healthy weight. He doesn't look underweight on the sides and on the front, but here in the tail it means he's not storing any fat. So he's getting just enough to stay healthy, but not enough to actually store fat, which means we got to start feeding him a little bit more. But we might have to help him out with some mealworms. Anyways, let's get him taken care of. Alright, this is the last one for now. I'll probably be doing the rest in the morning because, well, it's getting dark and I need to switch over their lights. Ah! Why are all of you so difficult? Come here, you. I don't want to lose you. Woo! Got him. Ah! I said I had him. It's a good thing leopard geckos are the sturdiest of geckos. Got him, got him, got him, got him. Luckily it's the winter months, so I got no problems dropping him off in here over the vent. Because, you know, heat's on. But, come on. Come on. No. You didn't want to go on my hand and now you don't want to get up. Alright, I'll be back in a second. This little guy is my favorite of all the baby geckos. He's just so damn cute. I love him. But he does kind of have like a weird design on his head that's kind of cool. Anyways, gotta clean him out and then we're done for the night. And now that he is done, I don't want him running away because he already tried to run away once. I'm just gonna gingerly let him go back. Beautiful. And since he's in the back, I can now not worry about closing this. So that's all the babies taken care of. I can't wait till I'm done cleaning this because that means I can clean the reptile room, because I do not clean reptile room on the day of doing all this. It's too much of a hassle to try and keep all this clean in one go. Anyways, we'll be back tomorrow to clean Leif Erikson and the top and bottom enclosure. Sorry, I had to laugh about my own stupidity here. Anyways, we got Leif Erikson out right now, and it's not to clean his enclosure, but to say goodbye. As much as I need to clean his enclosure right now, it's going to have to wait till tomorrow. I could not find my collapsible shovel, the easiest way to get coconut coir into where I need to get it. And I look back on the videos from last week. And as you can see, because here's a screenshot of it, I left the shovel in the trash can. And trash day was yesterday. And ADHD won out. So I completely just threw away my shovel. And I've prepared the coconut coir and everything because I was about to go do that before I went to bed. Well, today's also Friday, by the way, so this video is coming out today. I was a little stupid this time. Oh well, I'll do it tomorrow. It won't be in a video, but because, well, I also got to feed everyone tomorrow. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching. Sorry for this ending. I mean, I was going to get out Gargoyle and everything like that, but I might get them out for tomorrow's video. But we don't have enough screen time with Leif here, nor do we with Gargoyle in all honesty, but he was in a video not too long ago. So, yeah, we're going to say goodbye for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't you go jumping on. Don't you go jumping. The amazingness of this slightly prehensile tail. He just tried to jump and he stayed attached to my arm by just using that tail to grab onto my thumb. Reptiles, they're just so cool. Doesn't matter what kind. But, like I said, thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in next week's video. Subscribe, please. We are almost at 100 subscribers finally. I'm not going to lie, I thought it'd take a lot longer to get to 100 subscribers. And I think I said my goal for this year was to reach 100 subscribers, and we're already almost there. I don't know what we're going to do. What should I do for 100 subscribers? I mean, I don't know. Anyways, adios.
Sayonara. Reduce, reuse, recycle, drink water, all the fun jazz. Adios.